Good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm so happy to see all your smiling faces. My name is Miss Stacy, and I'm a youth and teen librarian here. And welcome to Super Saturday at the Fayetteville Public Library. We have a very special treat today. As you can tell, our room is very full, so we have put the program on the TV out just in the next space in this little lobby area. So if anybody is standing and they get too warm or whatever, you can all step out there and watch and hear the show as well. So today we have the Symphony of Northwest Arkansas with us, and they will be presenting a Carnival of the Animals. So let's put our hands together and welcome SoNA.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I'm Natalie Fernandez. I'm the Education Director for the Symphony of Northwest Arkansas. We're super excited to be here with you this morning and to perform Carnival of the Animals. We want to thank our sponsors, the Walmart Foundation, with additional support from Experience Fayetteville. I know it's probably frustrating to you that some of you don't have chairs, but for me, I'm looking at this like, this is a good problem to have. This is so great. Like, thank you so much for bringing your kids to experience not only literacy, but also live music on a Saturday morning. That's awesome. So kudos to the parents for bringing your kiddos by. Today's musicians, we have Miss Jenny playing the flute, Mr. Andrew on the oboe. Let's see, on horn we have Miss Katie. On bassoon and contrabassoon we have Mr. Richard. And then on the clarinet we have Mr. Nopachai. After we're finished today, and this is just going to run, right out about half an hour, even with me talking right now. After you finish, there's some QR codes that are taped to the doors as you exit. If you wouldn't mind I know everyone's like, oh, QR code and a survey, and I promise you it'll take you like a minute unless you've got like super fat thumbs and you just have a hard time typing, but otherwise it really will be fast. But if you do that feedback and that data helps us to continue to secure funding to be able to put on events like these in the future, so we really appreciate that support. Also, I put QR codes on there for our social media so that you can follow us and make sure to be up to date on other events like this as well. Okay, boys and girls, how many of you are excited to hear the book and hear the music? Yeah? Yeah, I'm so excited. So let me ask you a question. How many of you like to color or paint or draw? Anybody? Yeah. Okay, so when we pick up a colored pencil or we pick up a marker, we're taking something that we're picturing in our head and putting it on paper, putting on a canvas, right? What you're going to hear today is I'm going to read the book about these animals, and then you're going to hear music that will help you to picture those animals in your head. So you're going to hear some music that when we talk about chickens, you're going to hear the music and go, yeah, that sounds like chickens. I don't know how they did it, but it does. It sounds like chickens. So it's kind of like putting a paintbrush with sound. So that's what we're going to be experiencing today. All right, so Carnival of the Animals. John Lithgow, which moms and dads, when I found out that he wrote a children's book, I was like, well, how cool is that? Third Rock from the Sun. Okay. Oliver Pendleton Percy III was a mischievous imp of a lad. The tricks that he played on Professor McBird nearly drove the old schoolmaster mad. One day, with his schoolmates, he climbed up the stairs to the Natural History Museum, where, catching Professor McBird unawares, he ran past a sign that said, "Under repairs," then hid amidst antelopes, beavers, and bears, where none of the others could see him. And since nobody knew where the rascal had crept, closing time passed, and young Oliver slept. In the room where the slumbering schoolboy was hidden, caressed by the moon's ghostly beams, the stately stuffed animals awakened unbidden, inhabiting Oliver's dreams. The buffalo bellowed, the falcon took flight, the tail of the peacock unfurled. But among them emerged an astonishing sight, pale apparitions invading the night. In place of the animals, into the light stepped the people from Oliver's world. For example, the students who went to his school were hyenas determined to break every rule, and in shabby brown tweeds with an old yellow tie on, Professor McBird was turned into a lion. Oliver's watch said 11 o'clock. The shadows continued to thicken. From the darkness came strutting a fluttering flock, the parents of all of the kids on his block. Each father was now a cantankerous cock, and each mother a fuss-budget chicken. Do you see what I mean? Could you picture the chickens? Because when you think about chickens, when you picture them in the yard, what are they doing? They're flittering around and they're pecking, right? Could you hear it? Yeah. All right. Rodents raced in like a pack of wet cats, all snapping and nipping and nibbling. The ferrets and badgers and weasels and rats were sticky-faced toddlers and snotty-nosed brats, a species that always drove Oliver Bats, the greater New York younger sibling. All the younger brothers and sisters there who won't leave him alone. Near Oliver's house lived a dotty old pair, two twins, Aspidistra and Myrtle. In the park every Sunday they'd sit and they'd stare, recalling their years with the Folies Bergère. Then they'd kick their identical heels in the air at the pace of a graceful old turtle. Displaying more strength than a strapping young man can, two elderly tortoises dancing the can-can. Yeah. Mabel Bunce, the school nurse, lumbered into the hall, the scourge of each virus and germ. Though Nurse Bunce was decidedly wider than tall, her size didn't hamper her movements at all when she daintily waltzed at the elephant ball, a flirtatious and pert pachyderm. And there, with an air of tremulous grace, stood a fretful and frail kangaroo. Oliver studied her wallflower face, her hand-me-down dress with her grandmother's lace. Why on earth was she here in this unlikely place? His librarian, Miss Marian Prue. But Miss Prue in her dreams was not nearly so shy, for her dreams fulfilled all of her wishes. Oliver spied, in the gleam of her eye, cinema sirens from ages gone by. They'd invite her to join them, and off they would fly like diaphanous tropical fishes. She floated among them all, gloating with pleasure, a mermaid protecting a vast sunken treasure. freckly schoolgirls in Oliver's class left him gasping and grasping for words. When they squealed in the hall or they sprawled on the grass, his face was aflame as he'd timidly pass. But tonight, full of flighty excitement and sass, they were flocks of exotic young birds. Oliver smiled, relaxed and unwary, lit up by the gleam of his dream aviary. Jackasses dashed through the gallery door. They shook every window and beam. Though Oliver shrunk from their deafening roar, he distinctly remembered he'd seen them before, storming across the gymnasium floor, the boys on the wrestling team. In front of the girls, they were bluff and hard-bitten, but clearly the asses were secretly smitten. On Saturday mornings from 10 until noon, poor Oliver practiced his scales. His teacher, the maestro, Herr Dr. von Loon, whose lessons included no hint of a tune, resembled a manic depressive baboon whose shrieks could be heard in North Wales.
None of us are bad enough musicians to represent
That. Also, I have a bone to pick with John Lithgow. Hey, he's not poor Oliver for having to practice his scales. It's a very important skill. It's basically the foundation of being a good musician. Okay, here we go. Back to the text. A cuckoo sits weeping, bereft in her nest. Her chick had been missing since noon. She pictures him hungry, a cold in his chest, insufficiently fed, insufficiently dressed. She fears that her poor heart will burst in her breast if some news of him doesn't come soon. Is the cuckoo a cuckoo, or perhaps something other? The fact is, the cuckoo is Oliver's mother. Okay, which instrument was playing the cuckoo sound? Do we know? It was the clarinet. Yes, very good. Could you do that for us again? Yeah, the cuckoo sound sounds just like a cuckoo clock. Once, Oliver's class went to see a ballet and arrived like a herd of young cattle. The dusty production they put on display was 150 years old if a day, a gargantuan pink brontosaurus at play. You could practically hear the bones rattle. But at every ballet in her own private box sat Oliver's great Aunt Cecile, wearing tea rose perfume and a stole of red fox. Her memories of girlhood turned back all the clocks to the night when the audience lined up for blocks to see her Odette and Odile. With her ivory neck and her downy chiffon, not a woman at all, but an elegant swan. A silvery light filtered into the room. The day was about to begin. The displays were as silent and still as a tomb when a kindly night watchman strolled in. It was he who discovered the sleeping young lad and sent Oliver home good as new. When the boy was returned to his mother and dad, his emotions were split between happy and sad. But oh, what a fabulous night he had had when his world was turned into a zoo. The next midnight, each beast reawakened with glee, for Oliver Percy had set them all free. Yeah, one more round of applause for these amazing musicians. Again, thank you all so much for being here. We hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, if you don't mind, I know you're like, I've got a wiggling kid, I gotta get out of here, lady. Just snap the QR code and then you can do it on your drive or whatever. But thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. We appreciate you.